So first things first, last night, March 5th, the first pay-per-view offering from AEW of 2023 was AEW Revolution, and it was a spectacular event. But we will not speak about AEW Revolution until more than likely before Dynamite, because I'm going to give y'all the opportunity to take a look and watch the event for yourself. But we have we have other stuff to talk about in this news cycle, including um something that took place during the event, and also a lot of other stuff. So let's get into it, starting with Gunther, who recently did an interview where he spoke about the potential possibility of Imperium turning babyface. And he said that if anything, the fans would basically start cheering them because of the respect that the fans have for Gunther, Giovanni, and the rest of Imperium, rather than because of something they did or something they didn't do. That basically it would be a show of respect, because he sees that when the lights go out before the spotlight comes up, fans seem to gravitate towards, like cheer until they see the spotlight and see who it actually is, and that kind of like takes the emphasis out away from it, or the excitement away from them, because, well, they're not happy to see Gunther and the rest of Imperium. But I do think that at some point, Gunther and Imperium could be babyfaces on the main roster if WWE keeps going the way that they are, because typically, especially in WWE, the good wrestlers have a way of becoming superstars on the main roster, and that is something that WWE has always been good at. And, I mean, look at Sheamus and the rest of the Brawling Brutes. They were heels until they fought Gunther and Imperium, and then they became babyfaces. People, they earned the fans' respect. And I think that is something that Gunther and Imperium will do as well. Now we move over to WrestleMania, some minor WrestleMania news, as ESPN has had coverage for WrestleMania every year, and it's not going to be any different this year, with Daniel Cormier, longtime wrestling fan Daniel Cormier, basically being the host of WrestleMania for ESPN. The lead for coverage of WrestleMania on ESPN will be from Daniel Cormier. I don't know if that means Daniel Cormier will do something involving WWE, or Daniel Cormier will just be the lead announcer, because I honestly don't know what type of coverage ESPN will have for WWE and WrestleMania. But what I can say is Daniel Cormier has done stuff with WWE in the past, and I wouldn't be surprised if he did something with them at WrestleMania. The one thing you don't know is will it be something physical? Or the one thing we can't know is if it will be something physical. Speaking of WrestleMania, though, Gunther is still looking for his opponent at WrestleMania, with a fatal five-way set to take place on SmackDown, including Karrion Kross, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, Kofi Kingston, and someone else. Unfortunately though, Kofi Kingston has sustained an injury on SmackDown, and it is possible that Kofi may be out of the match on SmackDown next week, and maybe out of an opportunity to become number one contender for the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania. If you go back a couple months ago, if you go back a couple months ago, the rumor was there was a rumor that the WrestleMania match for Gunther was going to be Sheamus and Drew McIntyre in a triple threat match against the reigning Intercontinental Champion. And now, with both McIntyre and Sheamus in the Fatal 5-Way, the question becomes, how would that be something that happens at WrestleMania if only one person can win the Fatal 5-Way on SmackDown? Well, think about it like this. What about a double pin during the Fatal 5-Way on SmackDown? What about a double pin during that where both McIntyre and Sheamus get the win at the same exact time, leading to a triple threat at WrestleMania? I know some fans may be looking at the possibility of wanting a multi-person match at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental title, sort of like we used to get with the mid-card titles. But I think that in my opinion, I think that the better match would be Sheamus and McIntyre and Gunther. Not that I don't want Kofi Kingston or Karrion Kross or whoever the third person, or LA Knight. Not that I don't want all those guys to be a part of WrestleMania. I do. It's just that I don't know that a multi-man match would be better than a triple threat match. You know what I mean? But that is also why I prefer the idea of a Battle Royal and like the idea of a Battle Royal at WrestleMania instead of adding people to a match that may not need to be a part of the match. Simple as that. Now we shift over to the original plans for Jade Cargill as TNT champion I've said it over the last couple of months that I think AEW needs to figure out somebody that can dethrone Jade Cargill. And apparently, the original plan was that AEW had that in mind. They had somebody in mind that could dethrone Jade Cargill. That person was Chris Statlander. Chris Statlander was originally supposed to be the person to dethrone Jade Cargill, but the fact of the matter is, Chris Statlander, for those who may not remember, got injured last year, where she tore her MCL and I think her meniscus too. She tore her MCL and meniscus and has been on the shelf since last summer. But now the question is, when Chris comes back, does this mean Chris Statlander will still be a number one contender or a top contender for the TNT championship? I think she should be, because I think if that Jade Cargill needs a capable challenger for the TNT title. And somebody needs to end up beating her. It's not that I have anything against Jade Cargill. It's that she can't stay undefeated forever. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying she needs to lose the title on Dynamite next week. I'm saying that she needs to lose the title at some point because she can't stay undefeated forever. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Now we move to MLW news, as it was reported that former MLW heavyweight champion Jacob Fatu will be challenging John Hennigan at War Chamber in April for the Open National Weight Championship, which is another indication of the amount of random championships that MLW have. But either way, Jacob Fatu is looking for championship gold once again in MLW and to dethrone the current National Openweight Champion. That match will take place on April the 6th at the War Chamber event, and it will be the first time that Fatu and Hennigan fought in a multi-person contest. But with that being said, and the fact that we still have a lot more to get to, I will be putting together another news video, and I will see you in that video.